Here's a challenge I've been having. My challenge has been I've gotten so many calls from people saying, I want to prospect and I don't know what to say. And what I was sharing with Rachel earlier is that, teaching push, I felt like I was helping you guys overcome your drunk monkey. And that's something that I can do. If you have a fear of picking up the phone or don't really know your scripts or how to overcome an objection, I can help you with that. And I feel like now, instead of having the drunk monkey, we all have this drunk gorilla, because on top of maybe not wanting to pick the phone up, we also don't know what's going on in the world. And there's so much uncertainty around our safety. And it's just a different time where we are uncertain about how to move forward. However, what I know and I understand just from talking to so many people is that we don't really have an option to sit back and not do anything, because unlike other people who are working and gainfully employed, we don't have the ability to go get unemployment. We are independent contractors, which means that if we aren't working, we aren't getting paid. And so we have to figure out, and my goal is to help you guys figure out, what do we do? How do we pivot so that we can actually help people? And I think the biggest thing that I want to say, and I really believe in scripts, and you guys know that, I think we almost need to throw the scripts that we've been using kind of out the window, at least in the beginning of the conversation, and tell me if you guys disagree with this or not. But I think we need to just call people, even if it's a FSBO or an expired, and we just say, hey, how are you? I know that you have this house that was for sale by owner. How are you dealing with things? What's going on with your property? And just having a conversation. If we started out that way, from all the agents I've talked to, people are actually talking to you. They're actually like, I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you what's happening in my world. And then we can slowly kind of move into a script by asking questions like, Mr. For Sale by Owner, what are you doing to protect yourself when you are showing the property to the public? And start having conversations with them about what they are doing. And then moving into finding out a little bit more about motivation. However, I do believe in the beginning, we almost have to throw our scripts away and just kind of have a conversation about life and how they're doing and how they're dealing with what we're all going through. How do you guys feel about that?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what we have to do. We have to show some compassion.
We have to show some compassion. You're absolutely right. Because if we call and we're just, I say the same stuff, right? If we make it about us, they're not going to hear us, especially right now. They don't care about us needing to make another paycheck. If we check in on them, how are you doing? What's going on? And we have that typical conversation where we're making it more about them and how they're dealing with this whole situation around COVID and the self-quarantine, we're going to get people who are opening up and talking to us. And then if we start asking those questions about what they're doing to protect themselves, how are they showing their property? If they're being honest, a lot of them are going to tell us that it slowed down and they're not getting as much showings, or they don't feel comfortable having people in their home. And that's when our job kicks in. Our job is to be problem solvers. And what Gene Rivers was talking about is, how do we go about solving that problem? How do we go about helping these sellers? They're going to be the sellers that need to sell right now, and those are the ones we really want to go after. And there are going to be the other ones who don't have a sense of urgency. However, that's somebody we're building up in our pipeline, someone we're going to follow up with and stay in touch with. Share with you guys, and I just put this together in like 30 minutes on Canva. When we start talking to people about what we're doing to pivot in this business and do things virtually, this is what we're going to be learning in Push 2.0. I believe this is what we're going to have to start sharing with people to kind of show them what we're doing differently. We almost have to send out an email, a letter, have a conversation and tell people, during this time, as we're all dealing with self-quarantine and we're being more careful about how we show property, in order to still operate and help people that need our help, we have to move towards doing things virtually. And so we can have this bullet list like I put together here, safety protocols for sellers, where we're talking to people about what we have done as a company to pivot and adapt to the market we currently live in. So for instance, virtual listing consultations. You can explain to them that we're going to be doing listing consultations via Zoom, FaceTime, or what other video applications you want to use. And then once we get to a point where they want to actually sign up with us, or we have a buyer who wants to submit an offer and we need to get signatures, we're no longer going to be going to their house and getting signatures. Not that we were doing that anyhow, but we're going to definitely be moving to a point where we're focused basically using electronic signatures only. We're also going to talk to them about doing virtual tours, how we go through and do a virtual tour for them and do 360 views of the room, just like what Gene Rivers was talking about. And here's just a little infographic that you can share with them on things that we're doing differently in order to market and help them sell their property. We also negotiate offers virtually. I have always believed that when you get an offer in on your property and you're discussing that with your seller, it shouldn't be something that you do on the phone. It's something that you should do in person and have a conversation with them and go through the contract with them, especially all the areas of the contract that can be negotiated. And so moving forward, we're no longer going to be doing that in person. We're going to be utilizing Zoom and pulling the contract up and screen sharing like I'm doing with you guys right now, and going through the contract line by line and highlighting the areas that are the negotiable parts of the contract. So we want to be able to share that with them and explain to them how we're doing that and what's going to be different in this new world of real estate. And then talking about, remote closings. We will be having remote closings. And so what I love about this, and I don't know if you guys are excited about it, we're being forced to learn how to do our job at a higher level and to do things virtually. What that means for us, if we really embrace this, even when we get to a point where we are free to go back out and meet with sellers, I would stick to doing it this way, because doing it this way means I have more time to focus on getting more business, because I'm no longer spending that hour driving there and driving back, and I can be more productive with my time. So I actually like doing things virtually. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it excites me to think that this is how I could run my business, and I don't necessarily have to go out and meet with sellers every day. Listen,
I love it.
we want that.
Closing in April, and I'm not even going to see the seller or the attorney or anybody until closing. I'm just waiting for the check to be wired in.
Yeah. And it's always been this way though, right? Where we could do things remotely. I think we always felt like we had to be there. But I've known agents for years, since I actually lived in Dallas, who would not go to closings, who would not go to home inspections. They didn't go. And now
we thought that was so disrespectful. And now I'm like, I get it. Now this is absolutely going to change the way real estate is done, period.
It is going to change the way.
I just have a quick question. What do you think about those sellers that are older, or they don't use technology? I needed to pay someone today by Venmo and they didn't have it, and I was walking them through it. It was like brain surgery with them. Like they were like, I don't know what you're talking about, So what about those people that are not technology savvy?
Here's what I'll say. There are people who aren't technology savvy, or some people who just don't understand and get it. And I think this is a great time for us to start thinking about that and utilizing this downtime we have. We should all have do you guys all have a YouTube channel?
Working on it. I do, but I'm working on it.
Could we not? So once you guys really learn how to use your YouTube channel and use things like, what's this here on my computer? Quick Play. Have you guys seen my videos I do for you where I'm recording the screen? I'm talking, but you can see what I'm doing on the screen to run comps?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's done using an app called QuickTime Player, where you can actually do a screen record while you're actually talking. And so what I would do in that case, Haza, is I would do a video showing someone how to actually, here's how you download Venmo. You go to the App Store. I would do one for Apple. I would do one for Android. You go to the App Store. You download the app. Once you have the app, here's how you go about setting up an account. Once you have an account, this is how it works. I would start having a library set up for all the technology that we're using. Don't have a Zoom account. Here's how you get a Zoom account. Here's how you sign on. Here's how it works. And so when we meet someone, we're not spending our time just saying the same things over and over again. We'll say, I'm going to send you a link. I want you to click on this link and watch it. And that way you can see how to download this technology and how to use it. It's something that's branded to you. And it's going to be a question that comes up over and over and over again. And if you have it in one place where people can go and find that video and watch it and pause it, take notes or do whatever they have to do, they're going to feel better about that, because people feel silly if they keep asking you the same thing over and over again. How do I do that again? If you take that away and you give them the power to watch the training on their own on your YouTube channel, they'll appreciate that. And it shows that you're embracing technology.
Right.
In addition to that, should we be doing that for what happens when they sign the paperwork? So you sign the paperwork to list with me. Here's what happens next. Should we have a video where we're detailing everybody about what we do and what the process is once their home is listed? Now we have a contract. We're in attorney review. Here's what happens next. What if we had a video where we were just walking people through all the stages of listing with us all the way through to the closing? Same thing for our buyers. You submitted an offer. Here's what happens next. Offer was accepted. Now we're in attorney review. Now we're under contract. And we show them what happens at every step. And we had that on our YouTube channel, and we had a playlist for sellers, a playlist for buyers, and we just directed our clients to those videos. So if they didn't know what was going on, instead of calling us, asking us, hey, what's the next step? They can just watch our videos and be informed of all the steps. I feel like that's where we're headed with technology, and that's what we need to be doing. And don't recreate the wheel. We know the process. All we need to do is talk about it and put it on video. And if you're not comfortable showing your face, you don't have to show your face. You can do the screen share and just record the video and show them all the steps and what happens next.